I don't want you to sing, but help me wish a happy birthday to our next speaker who turned 30 earlier this month with a great big happy birthday, all right? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday. You didn't expect that. Ashleigh Gordon is up next. She is the co-artistic director of Castle of Our Skins. It's a concert series that celebrates Black artistry, heritage, and culture in music. She's also co-founded a string trio called Sound Energy. She's a graduate of the New England Conservatory of Music here in Boston. And she attended the International Ensemble Modern Academy in Frankfurt, a year-long program that focused on the study and performance of contemporary music. She's performed around the world in places like Paris, Germany, Australia, England, and Hong Kong. Her viola is named Rhonda, I'm told, and I hope we'll find out why today. Please welcome Ashleigh Gordon.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you for the happy birthday. Thank you. I'm incredibly honored to be here and very much look forward to sharing a little bit more about what I'm doing with my music, with my art, and hoping that before we break for lunch, I can get everyone's involvement in some audience interaction. A little bit about my background. My family is from Jamaica. My siblings and myself, we were all born in this country, but my family, my roots, are from Jamaica. I remember growing up and trying so hard to try to understand my grandfather, whose patois accent was so thick, really all you could do was smile and nod and pretend to understand. I remember visiting my great aunt and slicing plantains and peeling mangoes while she boiled ackee and saltfish for breakfast. I remember visiting my relatives in Toronto and in Florida and listening and asking so many annoying questions as we looked through old black and white photos from their childhood. Ever since I could remember, I was always curious about my culture. I always wanted to know more and experience more about my heritage. The cultural curiosity I had in my roots made me want to explore and learn more about other people's roots. I wanted to know where my neighbors' grandparents came from. I wanted to know the memories that they had. I wanted to know something more about the flag that I didn't recognize in the corner bodega's window. The cultural curiosity I developed at a young age helped me jumpstart my own exploration to race, culture, and heritage. It really encouraged me to seek out more information about myself and to accept other people's differences as being fundamentally perfect and unique in and of themselves. Now, as you heard, I'm a musician. I'm a classically trained violist and a music educator. I don't have a background in public policy. I don't even have a particularly strong stake in politics. But when it comes to the idea of social change, I do think that it very much has to do with cultivating cultural curiosity, awareness, and acceptance from a very young age. I do feel that in order to live, work, play, dance, experience life together, we have to have knowledge of and respect for other people, and those ideas, those very basic principles, need to be continually reinforced, ingrained into our kids. Our children really have to have this burning sense of desire, this strong sense of urgency to be culturally curious. Social change, in my eyes, really relies on this feeling of cultural curiosity, and it really starts with our kids. Through my arts, my music, my viola, and my own culture rooted in Black America and Jamaican heritage, I can help cultivate this feeling of cultural curiosity in kids. I can help show them that culture and history are actually relevant to them, that beyond their textbooks and the obligatory Black History Month in February, culture, heritage, and history are actually real-time, real food for thought, crowns, badges, and battle scars, yes, that we carry with us every day. Me, Black musician, whose roots extend to the Caribbean, can take advantage of this, can take an active part in this continual reinforcement of cultural curiosity that extends well beyond the classroom, this continual reinforcement that's needed to impact social change. My fellow co-artistic director, Anthony Green, and I felt very strongly that we could create a platform that would explore our culture, that of Black America, with audiences young and old. Our concert and educational series called Castle of Our Skins was born out of this desire to help foster that feeling of cultural curiosity, to celebrate Black artistry through music and help invite greater exploration into Black culture. We borrowed, in honor, our name from the beautiful poem for Nina by the equally beautiful poet, Nikki Giovanni. She's my idol. The opening line of this poem reads, "We are all imprisoned in the castle of our skins." And some of us had said, so be it. If I am in jail, my castle shall become my rendezvous. What I love about this poem is that it really encourages the very fabric that makes me, you, us, who we are, a source of joy and a cherished home. That our skin, and really to broaden that to include the stories that are woven in our skin, is really something to celebrate. That where history class can only give us a glimpse into these intricate, beautiful fabrics that are woven together to make this nation's tapestry, we can create platforms that can really invite hands-on exploration and invite these kids to touch and experience up close these different cultures. For Anthony and I, our platform of choice is the arts through Castle of Our Skins. Earlier this year, we collaborated to create our first educational workshop called A Little History, which also featured the original work by Anthony called A Little History. A Little History tells the story of 9 legendary figures in Black history through original music, original poetry, through audience interaction, through history. And as of now, to date, I've performed this work for over 200 young kids. It was originally conceived to be performed for 4th and 5th graders, but I've performed it for as young as kindergartners, through high schoolers, and most recently at the Museum of African American History in Beacon Hill for a mixed crowd, adults, kids, grandparents, and was pleasantly validated, I guess I should say, that I was still able to create this sense of curiosity in culture across all ages. I would like to invite you all to take a trip down memory lane and envision yourself in your 4th or 5th grade classroom. You've been told that you have to go to the auditorium, imagine those cramped seats, the sound of 100 chatty kids, and you are here to gather together for an assembly from a group called Castle of Our Skins. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ashleigh Gordon. I'm co-artistic director of an organization called Castle of Our Skins. Castle of Our Skins is a concert and educational series in Boston dedicated to celebrating Black artistry through music. Today, I want to present to you a workshop called A Little History. And A Little History tells the stories of 9 legendary figures in Black history. Today, we're only going to talk about 3 of them. The most important thing from this workshop is all of you, because it involves audience interaction. So hopefully, I can get some energy in this room. The first person that I want to talk about is a woman. This woman is still alive, and this woman used her thoughts, her very words, her very actions, her life, really, to help ignite a fire so strong in those who she spoke that they couldn't help but stand up, take charge, and take action. This woman is an activist, and her name is Angela Davis. Now, I want, with my words and with my music, to ignite you all with such a passion that you can't but help scream out her name, Angela Davis. We'll try this a few times so that when I say with passion and with excitement, you will respond by saying, Angela Davis. Oh, very good. I think we can work on getting the energy level turned up a little bit more in this room. I know lunch is on the way, so hopefully this can encourage you to get more hungry, I guess, for lunch. We'll try this one more time. So I'll say something, and when I point to you, that's your cue. Just scream out, I promise no one else is in the building, scream out her name, Angela Davis. Always for a good cause, Angela Davis. A great woman, yes she was, Angela Davis. An activist in this country, Angela Davis. Working towards equality, Angela Davis. Very good. Let's put this to music. I want everyone to take their 2 clapping hands, and you can clap. You can stomp on your thigh. You can stomp on the floor. I don't really mind what you do, but I need a beat. Thank you. The story of Miss Angela Davis. Always for a good cause. A great woman, yes she was. An activist in this country. Working towards equality. Even in this modern day, there are things you cannot say. But this woman, yes, she fights the battle over civil rights. She studied in France and Germany and graduated with degrees. She was jailed for no reason. She didn't steal or commit treason. She loves her life, so do not fret. She's someone whom you can't forget. Fantastic. Good. Miss Angela Davis, an activist for civil rights, an activist for women's rights, for those imprisoned, for African Americans. Very powerful woman indeed. This next person, who I would like to share with you, this next legendary figure in Black history, requires one volunteer from the audience in order to help me tell this story. If I can get one volunteer from the audience, I won't have to make this really be like your 4th or 5th grade class and pick on someone. Thank you so much. What is your name? Noemi. Noemi. Can we give Noemi a round of applause? You can come on stage with me. Thank you so much. Noemi? Okay. I want Noemi and actually all of us to pretend that we are farmers. And we are on the farm, tilling the soil, rubbing the soil in between our hands. You can all try this with me. And we can do this very softly, or we can do it very loudly. And we can go from loud to soft, and from soft to loud. So Noemi will show us, you will be the leader, no pressure. No. You will be the leader in showing us our dynamics, how loud and how soft we should till the soil between our hands. So all eyes, including mine, will be on you. Again, no pressure. No pressure. And all ears will be on me as I tell the story of this next legendary figure. Whenever you are ready. Washington Carver, what an intelligent man. He knew how to use his heart, brain, and hands. As a young boy, George Carver was a slave, but he overcame his hardships, and he didn't misbehave. He educated himself in school and in college, though his skin color almost stopped him from gaining more knowledge. He then taught botany and farming throughout the United States. As a lecturer, mentor, and researcher, he was definitely one of the greats. He helped save cotton farmers by telling them to plant other crops, and by doing so, their problems of having bad soil would stop. He created many different products, from the peanut and the sweet potato, like oils, milks, bleach, cleaning products, and more, just like so. He did so much for America and helped us work harder. Repeat his name after me, George Washington Carver. George Washington Carver. Thank you. And thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, an activist, a inventor of sorts, inventing over 300 different products from the peanut. I only know of peanut butter, but he made a shaving cream. He made coffee, instant coffee, out of peanuts, among other things. One more legendary figure in Black history that I want to share with you, and it also, again, involves all of your participation. And for this, we're going to talk a little bit about music. For this next person, actually put this here, was a composer. He actually passed away, I believe, last year, unfortunately, and he was a composer, though, of jazz, among other things. For this, I want you to take your inventing hands and transform them into some jazz hands. Can I see some jazz hands in the room? Very good. And we'll count to 5, and I want with your jazz hands to snap on beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep it going. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ed Bland. He composed different styles of music. If he liked what he heard, then he would use it. In World War II, he fought in the army. Then he went to a university and to a conservatory. Once he had the time, creativity started flowing. And life didn't tell him where he was going. He wrote great music, but that's not all. He created a movie about jazz, I recall. He composed classical music, jazz, and swinging beats. And he inspired today's music of the streets. His music can be rough and edgy, but he left Black composers with a great legacy. Thank you. Composer Ed Bland, for Anthony Green, the composer of this piece, was very much a role model. Anthony, such as myself as well, is classically trained as a composer and as a pianist. And growing up, we would study the pillars of Western classical music, Bach, Brahms, Beethoven, Haydn, venture into Shostakovich and Bartók and Ligeti. But when it would come to learning about Black composers, we would focus on jazz, and we would focus Scott Joplin. It wasn't until Anthony came across, on his own research, came across Ed Bland, who for him was someone who represented what he wanted to be, a Black composer, a Black musician, someone with a voice, and it actually helped validate for Anthony his role in music. As I've said earlier, my platform of choice is the arts. It's what I know, it's what I can do, it's how I can reach young, impressionable minds. I would like to end by encouraging all of you to find your own platform, your own creative way where you can reach a child and educate them about your culture and help a child open their eyes, open their ears if they've already been shut to fear and intolerances. Help that child find a sense of understanding, find a sense of curiosity, create that seed if it's not already there, and help foster that seed of cultural curiosity. Social change, in my eyes, it really depends on awareness, acceptance, and this burning desire to be curious about other cultures. It depends on our children, and our children depend on you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashleigh. That was great.
Thanks.
My question for you is, tell us the story of your viola and the name, where it came from. I was reading something kind of recently about investors investing in musical instruments and loaning them out to musicians. So I'm just curious about the backstory.
Well, actually, I never formally studied with her, but I've seen her perform. Her name is Rhonda Reiter. She teaches at the Boston Conservatory. She's a cellist. And I was just so captivated by her stage presence and her ease with communicating through her instrument and communicating to the audience that I was wanting to channel that somehow in what I am doing. So I named my viola after her.
All right. And is it a relatively new instrument, an old instrument?
It is. It looks pretty old, but it's actually was made in 2006, right here in Boston by a man named Marco Cobiardi. He lives on Newbury Street across from Johnny Cupcakes, which does not sell cupcakes, but if you know where Johnny Cupcake is, that store, he's right across the street from there.
And I feel like Johnny Earl from Johnny Cupcakes has been to a previous edition of Ideas Boston. Does some people remember that? I've seen him speak somewhere. Give us another idea, or sort of your thinking about where else we can bring classical music, contemporary music, live music in general, so that it's not just this thing that is trapped at Symphony Hall or trapped at Jordan Hall that you have to buy a subscription. You know, where would you like to see it taken?
I think wherever there is, you know, a 4 by 5 square foot of space, to be honest, in community centers, at youth programs, at religious institutes, out in the streets, at senior homes, in prisons. I think wherever there is a space, there will always be a need. So wherever there's a space, literally just find a space.
What's the barrier in your mind? Is it that you need corporate sponsors to be funding all the transportation and funding people's time, or is the barrier just making that connection between musicians who would love to play and some venue that would love to have music?
Well, definitely it's a funding issue, I would have to say. What I do with Castle of Our Skins is create chamber music opportunities. So it's obviously very mobile for me as a solo narrating violist to just go wherever, and to take a string quartet and go wherever. It's obviously more difficult for the BSO, let's say, to just travel in that kind of sense. But if we can create intimate atmospheres, so intimate in terms of the performers, intimate in terms of the audience, and if there's, of course, money to do so, then I think it creates this whole platform where you can have these engaging discussions and these really intimate experiences.
All right. Well, I hope we will see more of that and keep working on that problem. Thank you for this
Thank
great
you.
talk.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.